welcome to the special edition of Hank's Corner. Today, I am going back down under to Australia. We're going to be talking with a special guest from there, but I am Hank Jr. I'm part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And without further ado, let's bring on my special guest, Briana Dinsdale. Briana, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Hank, how about yourself?
I'm all right, but for me, it's just morning, so who knows how this day is going to go. You've already had your day, so hopefully you had a good day out there.
It was pretty good, yeah. Hopefully you
Yep.
have a good day.
Well, I'm hoping so too. I mean, it's Tuesday, and it's not quite the middle of the week yet. Still trying to get through, but we'll see how it goes. And I alluded, you're in Australia. What part of Australia are you calling in from?
I'm from Brisbane, Queensland, so we're on the east side, the east
Mhm.
coast, and it's winter here, and it's the coldest winter I've ever had, and it's only about top of 20 degrees, which I think is like 60 Fahrenheit or something like that. So it's not super cold, but it's cold for Queensland.
Okay, and I was going to ask you about that. So, really, you're having a very cold winter down there in comparison to your location?
Yeah, and it was raining today as well, so it was just extra cold.
Okay, and where I'm at, it feels like I don't know if it's really true on paper, but it feels like this is probably the hottest summer that I've had here in Tampa, Florida. I just it's nice if you're going to go out in the pool or the beach, but aside from that, it's just too hot for me. But but you actually just got to experience the United States not too long ago, correct?
Yeah, we were just over there visiting my mum's side of the family in Southern California, so in the high desert area, pretty much. And it was nice to get back over there since COVID. It was very different. Lots of hand sanitizing everywhere you go, and that just so we could get back into Australia safely and keep the relatives safe. But yeah, it was very different traveling over there in a pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. And how about the restrictions? Because I know within the United States, they allowed us to, have to wear a mask on the planes and things like that. Was there anything that you had to do special making that trip?
Yeah, Australia is fairly strict with mask wearing, so we had to wear it all through our airport, all on the plane back, and the plane to America as well. But it was especially painful to sleep on the plane with a mask on. That was not
Uh,
fun.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, but safety first. So
Yeah, that's what they say. So, but I'm glad that you got to come back over here and tell me. I saw that you got to do a lot, including Disneyland. Tell me about that.
oh, it was the best ever. We were spending a lot of family time just down relaxing for the 3 weeks we were over there. And then on the day before the 4th of July, mum and dad surprised my sister and I to go to Disneyland for the day, which was very exciting because it's mine and my sister's favorite place ever. We love it there. And we go at pretty much every trip we go over there. We're very lucky to be able to do that. And it definitely didn't disappoint. We got to see the new Avengers campus, and my
Oh
sister and I were
wow.
dancing out, and it was good fun. 4th of July was good.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So, being in Florida, I'm not too far away from Disney World. We do go there quite a bit, but it's been a while since I've been to Disneyland. And, you mentioned that exhibit. One of the things, I mean, it's been years since I've been in Disneyland, but one of the exhibits I really like is the car section over there. And that's me personally. But did you get to ride that as well?
Yeah, we did. That was the first one we did, and it was a little bit frustrating because we were at the gate about to get on the car, and there was like a technical error. So we were standing there
Mm.
for another 20 minutes just at the gate. We're like, we're so close, we're so close. And it's a little bit of deja vu because last time we were there, we were pretty much at the gate and the whole ride shut down for the day. So we were like hoping and praying it wouldn't happen again, but we just had to wait an extra 20 minutes. But we got on and it was so worth it. I love that ride. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
definitely a good ride. And that reminds me of recently here in Disney World, I had got a special early edition, I guess, ride pass to go on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And we were waiting in line, like you said, a long time. And we were probably maybe 20th in line, and it broke down. And we were waiting probably about 30, 45 minutes, not knowing if this was going to come back on. And, do we get out of line because we don't know if it's going to come back on, or do we stay and just waste more time? fortunately, it did open up, and that's one of the best rides that I've gotten to go on. It's over there at Epcot, and if you ever get a chance to do that, I recommend that.
Yeah, it's the guy. I don't know if it's the same as the one in California, but that's my favorite ride ever is the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the Tower of Terror dropping one.
No, actually, it's a little bit different. It's more like
Oh,
a indoor roller coaster, and it kind of swivels you around as well. It's definitely different than the one out there, but I'm sure the one out there is pretty cool as well.
maybe I need to get to Disney World, Florida, and try that Guardians of the Galaxy ride because I'm a Marvel nerd, so I'd probably love it.
All right, definitely come out. We'd love to have you. But while you were out there in the California area, were you playing as well?
I actually wasn't. I took a little bit of a break from playing. I did want to go out and experience the music side of Los Angeles and California area, but it didn't really line up with our family plans. And for us, our family trip was most important at that time, especially since not seeing them for 3 years. But next time I get over there, I'm sure I'll be able to go and explore the music world of LA, which would be very fun.
Yeah, definitely come out and try that. And it does take a lot of planning and logistics, and you got to have somebody familiar with the area to be able to get you booked and all that. So I could see that it was just better to come over and enjoy some family time.
Yeah, it was definitely very special.
Now, you got your recent song out is called "I'll Run to You." Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so I wrote that one in 2019. I was, I think 15 or 16 when I wrote that one, and I was in my first relationship in high school. And as most high school students are, you get a little boyfriend or girlfriend in high school, and it was a good relationship. And so I wrote this fun country rock love song about like feelings and fun stuff. And I've always listened to a lot of country rock, and especially at that time, especially now as well, I'm really into country rock. And so I created a super fun song combining like organ sounds and electric guitar, and it's still one of our favorite ones to play live. It's a really fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely like it. And I know you posted some video about I guess, the behind the scenes of your video making. Tell us a little bit about that and how fun it was to do the video.
Oh, that was such a fun day. We had a very long day, but all music video days are always very long. There's a lot that goes into it, but it was good fun. We had some dancers come in, and my band were in as well. And we were in this really cool warehouse near, pretty local to where we live. And it's now not a warehouse. It was actually like behind all the scenes. It was like scaffolding and everything. It was quite dangerous to be in there, but we made work and turned out to be a pretty fun, unique video. And yeah, it was a very good day, very fun day.
That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and play "I'll Run to You" here on Hank's Corner.
He's one call away, but it's not the same. I see his face and it takes away the pain. Tank of gas for a wide old pickup truck gets me going and keeps me unstuck. He's the radio and the new songs on replay. Can't get enough, it's always Monday to Friday. Small town bonfire on a Saturday, warming up all the people on a winter's day. And I run to you whenever I feel in a night. I pass to in the morning when I can't think of thought. And you can call me when you need a hand, but I feel like I'll need to run. weekend after a long week of hard work, looking forward to being a bit berserk. Under the stars listening to some Coldplay. Clocks are ticking, it's almost the next day.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with Briana Dinsdale, and you just heard her latest, I'll Run to You. Tell me, how did you find out or learn that music was something that you wanted to pursue?
It's so interesting, that question, because I think there were a lot of different times in my life when I kind of realized music was the avenue I wanted to go down. I was always doing it since I was a kid, and mum takes a lot of credit for it because when she was pregnant with me, she used to put headphones over her belly with classical music. So she thinks she's responsible for it. So I give the credit to mum, but I was always like playing the Monsters Inc. keyboard and singing my Hannah Montana microphone when I was little. But I joined the choir in year 2, so second grade, and I loved it so much. Like, it was the highlight of my week. I still remember it, and I went into the more older choir, and then I just kept going. And when I was about 8, I started performing on like little competition stages. And I remember the very first time I sang solo on stage, I was sitting at my dodgy keyboard and I sang Titanium by David
Oh, wow.
Garcia, which is like it's a belter. Like
Yeah.
it was not the song for me. I don't know why I did that song, but it was definitely a realization moment that I wanted to do it. And then I started getting more into country when I was working with my first vocal coach, and there was some country sections and competitions opening up. And that's where I found a lot of Carrie Underwood music. I think I was like 9 or 10, and I was like belting out these like Before He Cheats and,
Mhm.
like the Carrie Underwood bangers. And so Carrie, Taylor Swift, and Keith Urban were the 3 like musical inspirations to get me into country music, and they're actually all in posters on my wall over there.
Oh, okay.
I
And
look at
and
every
yeah, and of course Keith Urban has to be one of them, right? Coming from that area down there. So he has to kind of be on the list. At 8 years old though, and 9, and you're first starting these competitions, Was it natural for you to be out there? I mean, like you said, you're playing some hard songs, or did you have nerves, or was it just something, it was meant to be?
I had so many nerves. There are so many videos of me like breaking down on stage and running off. Those were when I was singing original songs, though, when I was about 10, which was very interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, shows how vulnerable, like, I think it was a realization that it's very vulnerable to be singing your original song to all these people. Um, and but I remember getting extremely nervous, especially because they were competitions and it was like the heats, and deciding whether you would get through to the next round was like a big thing. And I think at 8 you're so like conscious of your choices because you want to just be that cool kid, and getting not to the semifinals was always like really hard. But as you got older, I think you realize it's not about that, and music is so subjective and you can't really put a skill level on it.
Yeah, definitely. But that is interesting that you mentioned that the difference between covering a song and doing your own work. And, that's something that I've talked about with artists. Some people will very rarely put out their stuff that they actually write. They'll co-write, or they'll have somebody pitch them a song because they feel more comfortable, kind of behind that curtain, so to speak, by doing those songs. And then others just kind of feel natural to do their own thing. So that's interesting to hear that when you were younger, that even then you realized the difference between doing a cover and then putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it was, especially for a 9 or 10-year-old to be realizing that. It's quite mature. I don't really know what was going on in my head, but it definitely was an awakening to keep going. Yeah.
And you mentioned that you sat at the little Monsters Inc. keyboard, and did you learn to play the keyboard slash piano, and do you play any other instruments as well?
I started learning to play piano when I was 4 years old. I started taking lessons. Mum said it was very painful sometimes to try to get me to lessons because I would just refuse. But that's the 4-year-old in you. And I am a piano teacher now, and I teach little 4 and 3-year-olds. So I kind of see where my mum's getting that from. But yes, I've been playing piano since I was 4. I started teaching myself guitar with a little bit of help from my dad when I was, I think, 11 or 12. Um, and those are really my only 2 instruments. And I'm not anything special on guitar. Like, the 2 boys in my band who play guitar always tease me for my guitar skills because they're just not it. I can play a few chords and I try to do these fancy things. It just doesn't sound good. So I'll stick to my piano.
Yeah, I hear that. I tried picking up both of them early on in my youth, and I was probably a little bit better at the keyboard than the guitar. But the reason why I'm behind this microphone is because I could do neither one of them ultimately. So good for you for doing that. But how does it work? Going to school and managing a music career pursuit.
In my senior year, which was last year, because it's kind of like flipped over here, we start in January, we finish in December. So I graduated in December, and in my senior year, it was definitely the hardest year to try and balance it all. But at the same time, it wasn't, because of COVID. It was a little bit easier to prioritize my school than prioritize my music, which was wise for a year 12 student to focus on graduating. But now that I'm in uni, the balance is really nice. Like, I only have to go to uni 2 or 3 days a week, and then the rest of my time I focus on my career. And my dad can't get any work done. He works from home, and I'll just barge in and tell him all these ideas I have or emails we got to send. Like, my mind doesn't stop ticking with what can I do next? What's the next step? What's a chord progression? Like, my mind just doesn't stop. And I think that's because I've got time now to think, rather than at school. I was always focused on my school, and but also having the weekends to do music. But now it's good. I get a bit more of a balance. It's nice.
Okay. And did you find that being in school helped you develop a following, or was it because you were doing music, you were kind of separate from maybe some of the rest of the school because of what you were doing?
It's interesting because my school had very great music programs. I was involved in the music department at my school a lot. There was a rock school program, so that's like rock bands, and then I was in my choir as well. And that allowed me to separate my career from like a music hobby, which was nice. So having like the school activities just to have it as a hobby and have some fun with some friends was always really nice. And then going home and turning that inspiration into my work, it was very, very good in my opinion. Some people might think different, but I liked having that separation, and I do miss having that separation. But I don't believe doing music in school helped me get a like social media presence, even though I'm not huge on social media at all. But I think it's just I don't know what it is, but it's fun. I like social media.
Yeah, it's got its pros and cons. And, we're going to go ahead and play Ball and Chain. And when we come back, I want to hear a little bit more about that backstory and where you're going to be going in the future. So here is Ball and Chain by Briana Dinsdale.
I don't like those conversations that we have while time is ticking. Just another hand you're holding, honey. Another man you love, I bet you're sorry. A heavy heart that you have, baby. Don't you think that it is shady? How you watch out for the danger zones. They're coming at you, yeah, all day long. You better get back. I'll wash you away just like the rain. And I'll wear that heart on my sleeve without no shame. Won't stop until I reach the end game. If you ever want to get it back, you gotta break the ball and chain. Ball and chain. You think it is all about you and that stuff that he has done too. You really think we care about all this? Yeah, nah, that's a bit of swing and miss. You pass the no trespass signs in hope that you might get it right. It ain't gonna come that easy. You can't avoid all those feelings. Get back. I'll wash you away just like the rain. And I'll wear that heart on my sleeve without no shame. Won't stop until I reach the end game. If you ever want to get it back, you gotta break the ball and chain. Ball and chain. Ball and chain. Ball and chain. Yeah. Beat the noise, beat the sparks, beat the lightning in the dark. Feel the wind in your face, leave behind all your mistakes. Get back. I'll wash you away just like the rain. And I'll wear that heart on my sleeve without no shame. Won't stop until I reach the end game. If you ever want to get it back, if you ever want to get it back, if you ever want to get it back, you gotta break the ball and chain.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr., and we're talking to Australian artist, singer, songwriter Briana Dinsdale. And you just heard her first single that she had come out called Ball and Chain. Tell us a little bit about that one.
It's interesting, that song, because I personally don't really know what it's about. I've tried to figure it out, but all I remember is when I wrote it, I was very angry. Don't know what at. It was Boxing Day in Australia, so it was the day after Christmas, and I think I don't really know what was going on in my mind. It was probably just teenage hormones, to be honest. And I was upstairs, and I decided just to write a song. And I went down and showed my parents, and they thought it was pretty cool. So it gave me a little bit of inspiration to nitpick on it more. But I've been asked so many times what it's about, and I've thought it's been about a person. I've thought it's been about like an experience, but I think it's more just whatever people want to relate to it as.
Yeah, and some of the best songs are like that, that even though you may have had a purpose, or in this case you're not too sure, but when the individual person that's listening to it can relate to it in their own way, and then somebody else can relate to it, but it's a totally different way. Those seem like the best songs because they just kind of, like I said, they reach a broader audience, and no matter what they're thinking about, they can kind of relate to the song.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you write most of your songs, or do you like to co-write? How does that work, and what's the process on how you come up with your songs?
I prefer to write solo and just pour out my feelings or ideas. And then if I feel like it needs some improvement or some feedback, I'll take it to someone who I trust with songwriting. My dad's a songwriter, so sometimes I'll take it to him, or I have a few friends who are also musicians and songwriters, and I take it to them. But I also really love co writing. I've done many co writes, and some of my favorite songs I've written have been co writes. And I think the beauty of a co write is that you have two completely different mindsets thinking of the song working together, and it kind of creates like a whole different branch of what you started with, which has always happened for me when I've written a song with someone else. It's never been the same as what we started with, which I think is just because it's just all the different ideas coming together, which I think is really cool.
Okay. And so for this next little part, I want to get to know a little bit more about the fun side of you. So tell me, I got a playlist, and you're recently on the playlist. Who's on your music playlist right now?
Oh my gosh. Every week I have a new favorite artist. It's like I have my top three, which is Carrie, Keith, and Taylor. They're in all my playlists. Um, but this year, especially every week, I've been like obsessed with a new artist. Like right now, I'm very obsessed with Hailey Whitters. I'm not sure if you know who she is, but she's an Americana artist in America. And one of my friends, Melody Moko, got me onto her a few months ago, and my sister and I are just obsessed with her. I also love Cody Johnson, Morgan Wallen. I'm also really into the Eagles at the moment. I grew up listening to the Eagles, but I've been really just now that I feel like I'm learning so much about music theory. When I listen to the old classics, I appreciate it so much more than I did when I was 7 in the backseat of the car. So yeah, I'm loving so many different artists. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess to find out a little bit more about something, necessarily not necessarily, music related, but what is some of the misconceptions that the rest of the world may have about Australia that you guys just shake your head and be like, no, that's not real?
There are so many. Like I'm on TikTok constantly and I see so many stereotypes about Australia, such as like there are spiders every corner we turn, which I don't know about anywhere else in Australia, but where I'm from in Australia and Queensland, that's not the case. And we also don't ride kangaroos to school. We don't go near wild kangaroos because they're quite dangerous. They can like kick you, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're huge. You don't want to mess with them. People think they're itty bitty, but no, they're big red roos. Oh my gosh, there are so many. You don't see like Robert Irwin, Steve Irwin's son just wandering around. Like, I don't know. There are so many. Like, you could ask me a question and the answer will probably be, nope, that's not the case here.
Yeah, and as an example, like Vegemite, we hear about it, because of the classic song that came out. Is that something that's really, widely eaten there in Australia?
It actually is. And it's one
Okay.
of those things you either love or hate. I love it. I don't know if you can see it, but that's like my open pantry there. I have a tub
Okay.
of Vegemite. That's my go-to breakfast. You have to have the perfect white toast, perfectly buttered, perfectly Vegemited. But you
Okay. So
can't have
that
too much.
so that is one thing that is, I guess, kind of true then, that some people at least down there definitely eat it. But tell me some about your other things that you like to eat, and when you came to the United States, what are some things that you like to eat over here?
In America, my favorite thing to eat is like good Mexican food because they do it so
Oh,
well over there. Because the culture is so thick over there of really, really good Mexican food. Over here, it's just not good Mexican food. Like, there's probably one fast food place called Guzman, that everyone loves, but it's not real Mexican. It's good, but it's not real Mexican. I also in America love the cereal there. Every time I go over there, I get a new cereal to eat. Last time, a few weeks ago, I was there, I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was my choice for the holiday. And I took it every house we went to. I had my Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it's like $16 a box over here for that
Oh,
cereal.
wow.
Like it's expensive. It's the gold. But in Australia, I love Vegemite, of course. Tim Tams are so good. I think they have Tim Tams over there now. I'm not sure, but they're really good. They're the go-to picnic snack.
Okay.
If you
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
not familiar with them.
Oh, they're so good. It's like a chocolate biscuit with it's chocolate everything, but it's really good. Shapes are good too. They're like a cracker. Yeah, there's so many good snacks over here.
All right. And as far as traveling, obviously we've alluded that you've done some, but if there's any place that you could go, where would you like to go?
There's two places. One, I want to go back to Nashville. I went to Nashville when I was 10, and that was incredible. That was also, going back to your question, ages ago, a real music awakening moment was when I went to Nashville. I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to go here again. But then I also really want to go to Japan. Japan is one of my top places I want to go, and I want to go to Disney in Japan as well, because I think it would be so cool to experience Disney in a whole different foreign country.
Yeah, my wife still beat me over the head because my brother was actually stationed out there in Japan for a couple of years, and she's like, "Well, why don't we ever go out there?" Because she wanted to go to Disney, and she's just a huge Disney fan, and you know, I don't necessarily going to make that trip all the way to Japan just for that, but you know, she's got that on the list. She's got the one in France on the list, and if there's any other ones, I'm not sure where they all are, but she's got them all on the list. So we're going to go ahead and play one more song. It's "Why Did I Fall for You." We'll come back and we'll wrap things up.
Another year is gone since you left me, and I sit and watch the clouds as they roll by. Memories are pressed between the pages, a letter stained with teardrops from my eyes. Goodbye is the saddest song, but I cannot wait this long without you. I know the day will come again, and I'll be there with you, my friend. Why did I fall for you? Oh, why did I fall for you? We would roam the streets at night in the city of the lights. Why did I fall for you?
And that was Why Did I Fall for You by Briana Dinsdale here on Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. When you're up on stage, what is something that we can expect from you, from your Briana Dinsdale performance?
I think the one thing you're always going to get when you see a Brianna Dinsdale performance is lots of talking, but enough that there's more songs than talking, if that makes sense. My band always have to like start the song to get me to stop talking. And you can probably tell just by interviewing me, I like to talk, but most of the time it's funny, which I'm proud of myself for because you got to entertain the crowd. But sometimes it's like I'm talking so fast that it sounds like I'm rapping. And my friends will just start playing the song. And I'm like, yeah, these guys know what to do. But I'm sure you'll always have a laugh at a Brianna show.
Okay. And where are some of the places that you're going to be playing in the near future?
We've got some exciting gigs coming up. I'm very excited. We've got a local one at a venue called Eats and Beats, which is kind of like food trucks and get live performances. And so we're going to be playing there. We've got a very exciting Christmas carols gig at the end of the year. We've got a country festival in September, and then we're heading to Tamworth in January, which is kind of like the biggest country music festival in Australia. Tamworth is the Nashville of Australia, so we're basically going there for 10 days and going to be playing up a storm. It'll be good fun in the 40-degree heat, which is about 110.
Ouch. And I did see some of the photos from your last visit to Tamworth there, and it that looks pretty cool. I love big festivals. I love having a good time out there, and so that should be pretty cool. But Brianna, I really appreciate that you took the time to come on Hank's Corner. Hopefully, I'll get to see you soon at some point, even if it means a trip all the way down to Australia to uh, see you performing and see you rapping on stage as well. But in the meantime, if you ever want to be on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to be a guest.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.